Hey guys, it's Glimmer here, and welcome to our Season 3 Hero and Villain tier list for My Hero Ultra Rumble. I did this live on stream with all of my chatters on Twitch, and I did it with their input in mind as well. Just as a couple, forewarnings, this is just, general sense in your squads, solo queue, with friends, all that together. So without any further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the Season 3 tier list, and we'll be doing this again at the end of Season 4. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to see when that comes out. And of course, I upload Ultra Rumble and other anime games every single day. So yeah guys, we're going to get right into it. Hope you enjoy. Anyways guys, so I wanted to do this with you. Get community input on this as well, so I've been saving it for a stream. I'm just kind of readjusting things on my end. I don't know if that's showing up there. Sure is. Hold on guys, I promise we'll get there. Okay. Alright, as you can see there, I got everything ready on there. And alright. Yeah, if you guys want to go play a game while you listen to this or whatever, that's totally cool. Let's see here. Let's get into it, boys. We're going to be starting things off with the man, the myth, the legend himself. We're going to be starting with Deku. And as you can see here, I do have our Strike Deku, and I've got our All-Rounder Deku here. Oh, man. And this is, honestly, these two are where I'm going to need y'all's help the most, honestly. So which one of these would we say is better overall? Because I'm still on the side that thinks All-Rounder Deku is better. But everyone's been playing Full Bullet, but I don't know if that's because it's actually better or if that's because it's new. Because in my personal honest opinion, I still think All-Rounder Deku is better. Because he has better mobility with Black Whip than the Striker Deku does with his his ramp. His, oh man. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, the ground impact. But that Manchester Smash on the Striker Deku is so strong. But I think, here's a crazy hot take, guys. I actually don't think one is better than the other. I think they're both about the same. Not only that, but check this out, guys. I think both Dekus, honestly, I think they're both B tier. I've never been killed by a Deku and felt like, oh man, that's cheap. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of my point here, right? Like, Deku is good. He's a solid pick, but I don't think he's overpowered. And at the same time, I don't think they need to buff him in any way. So I think he's actually a perfect baseline for B tier, to kind of give us our middle. And I do think the Striker is better than the All-Rounder in a vacuum. It does better damage, and you do have more options, so I'll give them that. And now we're going into Bakugo. Hold on. Don't need my Game Boy coming through. Now we're on to Bakugo here. So for Bakugo, I still think he's a S tier hero. I still think he's an S tier hero. He is so strong. Close up, far away. His mobility is fantastic. Like a Bakugo, he can outrun you most of the time. He can outgun you most of the time. I know they've nerfed him here and there. Yeah, like Bakugo's gotten a few nerfs and he's still really good. I definitely still think he's a S tier hero, without a doubt. And are you guys ready for the hot take? Are you guys ready for the hottest take? Maybe not the hottest take of the whole tier list, but this is a hot take. I think Todoroki, I don't think he's S tier anymore. I think Shoto's A tier. Because ever since they nerfed the duration of his ice, which he needed, by the way. Yeah, like, no, hear me out. Ever since they nerfed the duration of his ice, I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared of Todoroki's like I used to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so it's not lasting as long. And when I'm playing characters like Kirishima, Ida, trying to think of another one real quick. in that brawler category. The frog, yeah, Sue. When you're playing any of those like brawler heroes that like to get in close, like you can just avoid Todoroki's ice so easy now. Oh, he goes for the wall, back up. Oh, he goes for his ice thing. Not only does it appear slower, that could just be me, but I feel like it's slower. Yeah, yeah, and he did have a lot of weird glitches with his ice where like he would either freeze you, like, you know, the ice would disappear, you'd still get frozen, or you'd be like a foot away from the ice, you'd be frozen. And I feel like those bugs are part of what made him feel so oppressive. Oh, but yeah, so I honestly feel like he felt so oppressive in the early first couple seasons because of those bugs. Like his ice was the best ability in the game, and I still think it's really good, but I don't think it's nearly as good as it used to be. And I think in a vacuum, Bakugo is just better than Shoto, like straight up. But that's my hot take. I do not think Shoto is an S tier hero anymore. He's still good. A good Shoto will take over a lobby. I've seen it happen. But I'm putting him in A tier because, for the most part, he's lost a lot of strength. Exactly. That's another problem. Is that, like, after the nerfs to his ice, his ability to escape is not nearly as strong as it used to be. But yeah, that, like, I still think he's... Yeah, Dobby can cover his tracks better. You can, like, I'm sure you guys have seen it in the stream and in my VODs on YouTube. Like, you can kind of bully Shotos right now. You don't have to respect their ice the same way you used to. You can really run them over. They're still really good. He's still super good. But I can't put him in S tier because, like, when I'm playing Ida, for example, it just feels like I'm bullying him. Like, it feels like I'm beating up a child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that actually happened earlier. That happened earlier this match where I was fighting a Todoroki and he made 2 ice walls and trapped himself in it. I just jumped down on him and killed him. I was playing twice. And it's like, yeah, and that is a bit of a skill issue more than Shoto being bad. But I just don't feel like he's as oppressive as he was. And it's pretty weird. Frank said he never respected Shoto's ice. Yeah, you could just brave it and go in. I mean, it looks like I did that, but the truth is I just sucked at avoiding it for the longest time. I only recently got really good at avoiding his ice. And I'm still not really good. I'm still meh. Alright, guys. Are we ready to set the internet on fire? How do we feel about Ochako after her nerf? Because I kind of feel like she belongs right here now. The car spin is still good, but the hitbox on it, who was it who was talking about? I wish I could get him in here. Doraemon, he mained Ochako for the longest, and he could speak on this so much better than me. But like, so the hitbox for the car, did they fix it? Did they actually patch it? Because I feel like Ochako is kind of suffering from the same thing that Todoroki is, where like, it's so hard to say, because you're right. The car spin, you guys saw it earlier this stream. I ran into a building and she car spun me, and it was game over. Like, if she can hit that on you, it's still really good. I don't know. I haven't been getting whooped by Ochakos the way I used to, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm kind of putting her in B, because like I still feel like she's a very solid pick, and if you're good with Ochako, you can still tear up a lobby, just like really good Dekus can tear up a lobby. I don't know. I just don't know if I can put her in A tier in good conscience when, if you think about it, like, I love Ochako as a character, alright? And I love my Ochako main friends. But she's a Beyblade, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Now that her car spin isn't as strong as it used to be, and her other two quirk skills have always been kind of, meh. I don't know. I feel like she's comfortable in B tier because the good Ochakos are really good, but she's not like turn your brain off and play her. Yo, you know what? Her escape is top notch, and in the final circle, she's really strong. You know what? For mobility and her capabilities in the final circle, she's going up to A tier. I'm bumping her. You help talk me into it, chat. When I consider her mobility, her ability to get away safely, and when I consider how good her gamma is in the final circles, I definitely feel like Ochako belongs in A tier. Thank you for reminding me of those very important points. This is easy. We all know this. We all know this. We all know Ida's an S tier hero. It's not even a debate. It's not even... Nah, you can't... Nah. You can't do that. He is still crazy good. Ida is my turn my brain off and get 8 kills like I just did on stream. That's true. They did give him a couple yeah, they did fix the beta because the beta would hit you when you straight up dodged it, or it would like you would U-turn. Like I remember once there was a Cementos flying through the air. I went to kick him and Ida straight did a U-turn, turned around and hit him. Like there was no reason I should have hit that shot, but and now that doesn't really happen, or it doesn't happen as often. But like if they get you in the alpha melee, like like a good Ida is so scary. You know what I'm saying? That's why I want to put him in S tier. The question is do we put him above Bakugo? Not only that, but Ida's special action, which, I feel lazy for not talking about special actions more. Ida's special action, the one him, All Might, and Deku have, is really good too. And I feel like that ability is best on Ida, hear me out, because of the reciprocal charge or the speed boost. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the reciprocal turbo. Yeah, and that is true. Some of his combos can only really be effective if they're lower on shields. But I don't know. I can't take Ida out of S tier. He's so strong, and he's been strong since launch. Like he belongs here. At the least, he belongs at the end of it, like at the bottom of S tier. But even then, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure there's at least one other S tier on this list that I would put below him because of their lack of mobility. But I still think Ida is a really strong choice, especially because I guess I should have framed this at the beginning. He's still really good. Sometimes he feels better. I feel like sometimes it's easier to hit the alphas like in succession. But yeah, so I guess I should have set parameters. This is just kind of like an overall solo queue you're just trying to play. I'm not kind of taking into consideration when you're coordinating with everyone on your team. This is a overall solo queue. Yeah, it's easier to hit the alphas but not the wide sweep. Which, to be fair, that wide sweep was ridiculous, and he deserved it. And I feel like he's good there. I feel like he's very comfortable there. Now we have the frog. Well, no, we'll still consider revive specials. Because, even if you're solo, even if you're playing solo, you could have people talking to you. You could have people in text chat or voice chat talking to you. Because especially when you're solo, being able to coordinate and help your team is important, I feel like. In a perfect world, that's how I see it anyways. And now we talk about Sue. Let's talk about the frog, guys. So Sue, I think, still has the best mobility in the game. I still think Sue has, without a doubt, the best mobility in the game. Yeah, because they tried to nerf her by giving her 2 charges on the alpha for the first 3 levels, but yeah, sorry about that. It's how yeah, Extreme, you can chat now. I did the you have to follow for 10 minutes just because I was getting a lot of spam in the early days of my channel. But yeah, so Sue, yeah, I was about to get there. Just based off her mobility on her alpha quirk, she's an S tier. Now we're going to talk about how far up on this S tier she goes, right? Because here's the thing. Because of that mobility, her hit and run is so good. Yeah, she's so quick. She's so slippery. I can't tell you how many times I've lost a frog that I'm chasing. I'd be rich if I had $1 for every time. I'm going to put her above Ida. Easy above Ida. Because her special action, the Froppy catch, is in my opinion, the best revive ability. We'll take funny stuff like taunts and whatnot out of this equation. This is more gameplay and competitive. But so for Sue, do we think Sue's better than Bakugo? Oh, and Extreme, I will hear you out on your placements of Bakugo and Ochako if you want. We're doing a community thing. Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I don't think Sue's better than Bakugo because he just shreds her when it comes to damage. Like if it's a damage comparison, a Bakugo destroys compared to a Sue. And yeah, I love Ida in S tier as well. These two have just always been so good, you know what I'm saying? Like they've always been some of our best speedsters, and they still are. The only thing that has me iffy on Bakugo in S tier, by the way, is his special action. The nerf on the recharge on it was pretty heavy-handed, and you do feel it sometimes. But if you can hit your shots, he's godly. Like a Bakugo who dropped everything. But a Bakugo who hits his shots, hits those grenades, hits that gamma, he doesn't need to worry about, getting away. So no, I definitely, Bakugo's S tier, but I don't think he's our strongest character overall. There's a few other characters that I think are just above him, and we'll get into why later. Actually, we're getting into why right now because this is one of them. Denki is a high S tier hero. You cannot deny that. No, I'm on Switch. I play on Switch. So it's more comparable to PlayStation. Yeah. If a Denki hits you with that stun, which he probably will, he can drop you. It's insane what he can do. Yeah, his range is huge. On his, I believe that's his beta. Yeah, his beta skill. The range on that is just so incredibly huge. Yeah, it does feel like Denki really does the one combo, kind of like a one-trick pony kind of deal, but it's a good trick. You know what I'm saying? It's like back when Ochako was the Beyblade master, and that's all she did. It's all she had to do. It's all she had to do to be one of the best speedsters in the game. Just like, Denki can just boost into you, and then they either do the indiscriminate shock, or I've even got hit by the electro target. The electro target after the human stun gun is also, I feel like, just as deadly as indiscriminate shock. But indiscriminate shock in a group, forget about it. I literally guard broke 3 people at once earlier in the stream. Like, Dinky's insane. I've barely played him, and I'm like, quote unquote, good with him. You know, I'm picking up 5, 6, 7 KOs a match. Like, yeah, Dinky is a high S tier. He is really good with his stuns. Oh, my boy, Kirishima. Well, no. Okay, so I think even if they did adjust not Kirishima, Denki, if they adjust Denki and just lower the power or the range of the indiscriminate shock and made it to where you actually had to be close to people, I think it'd be fine. But I know that's not kind of how that ability works. Or maybe if they made it just travel along, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, they need to do something about Denki, but I don't want him to be dead in the water, you know? I love Ultra Rumble because I feel like for the most part, it's pretty well balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like for the most part, if you know your character and you know what you're doing, you can do well. But let's chat about my other main, or one of my mains. We haven't really got... we got to Ida. He's one of my mains. Let's get to one of my other mains, Kirishima here. Oh, Kirishima. Oh, man. I still think Kirishima's a solid pick. I still think he's a very strong hero in the game currently. He suffers from range. You know, if you're playing your Bakugo, if you're playing your Todoroki, you know, any of these wide range characters, Shigaraki especially, Shigaraki's range tears up Kirishima. That's his weakness, though, and every character needs a weakness. I won't put Kirishima in S tier, because after his nerfs, he can't stun juggle like he used to. It used to be, as I'm sure you guys remember, I could pretty easily stun juggle people with the beta quirk, but after they nerfed his right hook, I just don't feel like he's as oppressive as he used to be. He's still very strong, but I don't know. I just don't feel like he's as crazy oppressive. Oh no, sorry, I should have moved my mouse. We're talking about I'm talking about Kirishima. And you know what? I will say this. I do think Ochako is better than Shoto right now. The only reason I didn't want to put Shoto in B is because I still feel like a good Shoto can tear up a lobby. The Shotos that can still land their little combo effectively can still do some pretty good damage. But I haven't been killed by one in so long. You know what? You know what? Shoto's going in B tier. Because now that I think about it, I can't even think of the last time I got killed by one of these guys. Like, I can't... Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Because Deku, I think Deku's better. I think Deku's better than Shoto right now. Shoto! But I think both Dekus are better than Shoto right now. They have better mobility. They do more consistent damage. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this. I can't, in good conscience, put Shoto... Yeah, like, you can chase a standard Deku. It's not as scary to chase a standard Deku. Chasing these guys, they can turn it on you so fast with their kick. Because, ooh. Yeah, I think I'm okay with how B is looking. So let's talk about Kirishima, guys. I should have had, like, a waiting section on here. But let's talk about Kirishima. Because as I was saying, I think he's an easy A tier. And I do think I'd put him above Ochako. I'm keeping him out of S tier because if you have range or mobility that's better than his, you win. Like, you know, this is coming from a guy who has almost 100 wins on Kirishima. He is a fantastic brawler. He's like a tank, you know what I'm saying? But he's like Reinhardt. Yeah. Like, he's really good. his early game is just bad because he has like no I'm telling you, I can't. Yeah, exactly. Kirishima needs his team to cover his retreat or he'll just get chased down. Even if you use all of your alphas at level 9, people, almost everyone on the roster can keep up with you outside of people who have literally no movement, like Ibara, Cementos, Kendo, etc. But yeah, that's why I can't put him in S tier, is because, like, okay, Froppy is a brawler. Ida is a brawler. What makes them S tier and Kirishima A tier is both of them can get into a fight and out of a fight without the assistance of their team, without any kind of cover play, with, you know what you get what I'm saying? Like, Kirishima is really good when he's working with his team, which is why I play him so well with you guys. When we're all working together, he tears house. But yeah, I like Kirishima at the top of A tier. There are certain characters in this game, like Denki, Bakugo, and a few others we're going to get into in a little bit here, that I just think keep him from being in that A tier spot. I think he's a really solid, strong pick, but he suffers when he's on his own. And that's why we're putting him here. You know, because we're not talking about solos right now, like the game mode solos. We're talking about basically squads or duos, because that's the modes we have. Momo, I want to put her in A tier, but yeah, that's what I was about to say, that she lacks mobility entirely. Like, Kirishima has his beta, which gives him decent vertical mobility. And then he has his alphas, which gives him traversal. He can move away. Ooh, but Momo's... Okay, I'm gonna set Momo here and we're gonna talk about her for a second. So... Okay, so let me talk about Momo for a second. I think Momo is arguably one of the best killers in the game right now. I honestly think Momo is super deadly. Oh, they switched the A and B buttons? That's weird. But, so, like, as you guys saw earlier, like I did to that Toga, Momo's damage is insane right now. Because they kept giving micro buffs to her Gamma, her cannons. And now the cannons are ridiculous. Like, if a Momo gets you... And not to mention her stun juggle. You guys know how frustrated I get at that. If she hits you with the alpha, you're not getting away from it until she's used every single charge, or she lets you get out of it. Because it has such a wide arc, or such a wide area of effect. Because it's like she's sweeping the floor. That's how I always pictured it in my head. Momo's, like, alpha has such a wide range. The shield is still super, 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 super strong. It's one of the best options for killing people. The cannons have been micro buffed to the point to where I think they're one of the best abilities in the game. The range is almost limitless. But I put Kirishima above her because he can outplay her. You can jump over her shield. Sometimes you can punch straight through it, depending on, you know, each player's levels. And he has better retreat. Like, Momo is very much out in the open on her own. You know, like, let's say your team goes down, the enemy team is coming for you. As Momo, you're probably not going to escape. Because even if you do, they can just follow your shield. It's super obvious. Yeah, Dobby's Firewall breaks her shield. And they also, in the last patch... So... Momo used to have like a 360 shield. I'm sure you guys remember that. Like, you couldn't shoot her from behind or the sides. But in a recent update, you can now shoot her from behind and certain angles on the sides. So yeah, I'm going to put her below Kirishima. But she is strong. And when she starts juggling you, it's painful. Your best strategy for fighting Momo, I think, right now. Yeah, Momo struggles to retreat and she struggles to chase. So, like... If you're struggling against Momo, your best bet is to probably just make distance. Yeah, as good as she is, sometimes she can just straight up get rolled over. Yeah, on the new map, she's extremely deadly with the cannons and her shield. It's crazy. Turns it into a blender in there. But yeah, we'll keep her at A because her mobility is even worse than Kirishima's. And I do feel like Kirishima can pretty easily outplay Momo still, so yeah, we'll keep her there. But I do think she's stronger than Ochako, even though Ochako has better mobility. Momo's just in a way better place overall. And her special action is clutch. Very clutch. We're talking about the number one hero now, boys. All Might. Where are my All Might enjoyers? Where's Bravo at? Bravo, get out here. I know you're hiding somewhere. Where's my All Might enjoyers? Let's talk about All Might in the game right now. Literally, yeah. Like S1 was saying, cupping Momo with Toga just to use the special action. Literally, when you're low on items, it's so clutch. But yeah, we're going to talk about the number one hero now, guys. All Might. How do we feel about All Might this season? Man, I almost... Does he belong in S tier? Does All Might belong in S tier? Infinite items. That would be nasty. Just alliance between two teams. I think All Might might... He's either low S or high A. Because, okay, we're going to sit him right here for a second. All Might has really good mobility. Like, super good mobility. His damage is consistent. He has the Oklahoma Smash, which is basically just invincibility. The United States of Smash is a fantastic ability. His special action is good in the same way that Ida's is. You know, we talked about that earlier. I think the revival special actions are some of the best we have. Especially in terms of team play, in terms of squads and duos. Being able to go pick up your opponent. Yeah, he can escape super well. Like with his jump, with his United States of Smash. His escape's good. His damage is consistent. I guess that puts him in S tier. I honestly, I can't think of a reason to not put him in S tier. I think he might be our most fair S tier. Yeah, I think All Might might be kind of like, yeah, he's S tier. Do we put him above anyone else in S tier right now? I don't think we do. I don't know. No, I think All Might's better than Ida. Low-key. That might be a hot take to some people. Yeah, you would hope the number one hero would be S tier. I'm low-key thinking he's better than Ida, guys, and hear me out on this. The only reason I say that is because, what's it... the Oklahoma Smash... What's it Ida gonna do against that? You know what I'm saying? Usually if I'm Ida... Yeah, literally, if I'm Ida and he goes into Oklahoma Smash, I'm like, oh, I literally can't touch you. Let me run away. So I think All might be over Ida. But does he move up any farther on here? I don't think he moves past Sue because... Well, a Sue can keep up, but can a Sue out-damage an All Might? I think they can. I still think Sue's above All Might. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. He's moving up another spot. All Might's taking her number 3 spot. Because, you know what? You're right. When you think about, in a vacuum, Sue... Yeah, Sue is kind of like a support rapid. She helps pick off the people who run off on it to heal. She helps pull her teammates up who are in the fray, but All Might, he gets in there and does it himself. All Might can be in the heat of the fight for a really, really long time. He just doesn't do the same damage as these two, which is why I don't think he can overtake them. And their mobility is pretty on par with his. Well, Dinky's might be a little worse than his. Actually, Bakugo's might be a little worse than his after the nerf. But yeah, I think that's a good place to put All Might right now. Because the invincibility from the Oklahoma Smash, and then his mobility between the United States of Smash and his special action, yeah, the high jump, absolutely. I think that's a good place for him. Now here comes an interesting character for us, Aizawa. Let's talk about Aizawa Sensei for a little bit. So Erasure is, yeah, his mobility is so good, he's almost a rapid. And Erasure is really, really strong. And his combos are devastating. His combos are absolutely cracked. Like the alpha into gamma, and then immediately alpha into beta. Yes, Frank has shown us so many times how strong Aizawa can be. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm legitimately a Kirishima main, but I'm doing this. I do think 100% Aizawa is better than Kirishima. I think Aizawa might be as... What keeps Aizawa from being S tier though, guys? Let's talk about that. I guess the lack of a ranged damage attack. Aizawa kind of has to get in close to do damage on a big scale, doesn't he? Or at least pull them into him. But when you have mobility as good as Aizawa's, does that matter? Sorry guys, it's happening. It's happening. I cannot believe it. Because, you know, I do think... that's accurate. I do think Aizawa is just a bit better than them. Like, in the hands of someone who knows how to play him, he's devastating. The only thing I think he suffers from that would keep him from overtaking these three is damage, again. It feels like S tier really comes down to a lot of damage numbers, but I'm also trying to consider other things. Yeah. Yeah, he struggles against twice, that's true. Because Aizawa really thrives in fighting someone one-on-one. Nah, Frank, don't say you don't know how to play Aizawa. Your Aizawa carries. But yeah, I think he's comfortable there. I'm happy with putting him there. It's crazy how we don't have anyone down here yet. But like, that's what I was saying earlier about this game being fairly balanced. Alright. Now we're on to our next hero, guys. We got Endeavor, the flame hero. Oh boy, I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on Endeavor. So if this was when he first came out, S tier. Easy S tier, best hero in the game when he first came out. No denying it. If you guys don't remember how oppressive Endeavor was on release, I implore you to go look at my YouTube videos on it. The man was devastating. Yeah, after his nerfs, after his heavy-handed nerfs, where they nerfed his special action and then all of his quirks, yeah, he takes a lot of skill, but I feel like his damage numbers are still insane. Because, like, you guys remember just a couple days ago, I put up an 8-kill game on Endeavor on stream. And, I mean, I hadn't played him for who knows how long. And I was sloppy with him, but, like, it was effective, so... You know what, I will put him in B tier. But I think he's better than Shoto. I think he's better than this Deku. Do we think he's better than full bullet Deku? That's the question, I think. Not only that, and this is kind of crazy, but you know what UA Island made me realize about Endeavor? Endeavor, and you wouldn't think this, but Endeavor kind of suffers on UA Island when the final circle has super high skyscrapers because his height jump doesn't go that high. You know what I'm saying? And he's not like Bakugo where he can fly vertically. I think I'm okay with this. I think I'm okay. I think Endeavor's better than standard Deku still. Because his burn, the Scorching Arrow is so good. The Searing Arrow is still a fantastic ability. Prominence Burn is still really good for finishing off groups or getting someone behind cover. It does leave you super open and vulnerable. And if your special action, if your flight runs out and you're being chased, you're probably going to die. So that's why Endeavor's in B tier. He has incredibly good firepower, but I do feel like his mobility is kind of lacking compared to others, and he is a lot harder to get supreme value out of than he was when he first came out. Like, I don't think I would put Endeavor over any of these three. I think he's right on par with full bullet Deku. It's really hard to compare them because, like you said, Doraemon, they're very different. Yeah, he's a huge target when he's hovering too. So yeah, I'm comfortable with Endeavor being right there. We got both the Todorokis in B tier here. His son is not doing good. He could... Yeah. He's having a rough time. Alright, boys. Kendo. Shoto! Kendo. Let's talk about Kendo, guys. I've recently picked up Kendo, and she's a lot of fun. She suffers from a lack of mobility. And her damage is, at least in my opinion, like once you get her to the higher levels and you're close up on someone, yeah, you can shred them with the gravel and your clap. Yeah, you know, I was thinking A. Oh, I've just been kind of ranting about Kendo. We're just talking about Kendo right now. Yeah, her team play is peak. Her team play is peak. She's arguably, like, out of every character in the game, I think she is the most well-designed team player. You know what I mean? Her special action, even though I barely use it, the big fist carry, can be really helpful if you have a low teammate. Throw them out of the fire or, you know, help them traverse in the same way Compress does. Her big fist shield is still the best shield in the game. It's the best damage mitigation in the game. Do we put her above Momo? Because here's where she sits for me right now. She sits right below Momo just because Momo does better damage. Better damage, better range on Momo. Yeah, you know, if we're talking end of the day, they're both, I think they're very similar. Momo's just a little more overtuned than Kendo. Especially because every single part of Momo's kit, aside from her special action, is meant to hurt you. But Kendo gets a better shield. So yeah, I'm happy with those two right there, next to each other in A tier. Because yeah, like I just picked up Kendo, and I'm having good results with her. Mount Lady. How do we feel about Mount Lady after her nerf to her kicks? Her very much warranted and necessary nerf to her Galdera stomp. Yeah, I actually concur. I think Mount Lady is in the top 5 still. Because a really good Mount Lady, they fly in and kick you. They stomp, 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 punch, 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 kick you again, and you're dead. Like, it's insane. I've seen some clips of Mount Ladies that absolutely tear. So I definitely think she's still our top 5. How high does she go, boys? I think she beats out Aizawa. I think she definitely beats out Aizawa. I don't know. Does she beat All Might? Is she better than All Might right now? I think she might be. I think Mount Lady might be better than All Might right now, guys. Like, even after her nerfs. Because I know that, like, having only 3 charges on all levels for the Caldera Stomp hurts. You know what? Yeah, like All Might in a vacuum, I think All Might has more movement and more options than a Mount Lady. But in the final circle, Mount Lady takes it. We'll keep them right here because we're kind of talking like let's try not to think about like specific scenarios. Let's just say, you know, medium to large circle. It's the middle of the game. Middle of the game. Yeah. Because this is just kind of trying to be base power, you know. But yeah, so I think just middle of the game, I think these two are still right there. If you were to take Final Circle, if you were to say how's good everyone in the Final Circle, I think Mount Lady is arguably one of the best. Yeah, middle of the game, Mount Lady does have her special. You're right. Yeah. I'm okay with them right there. Alright, boys. Got 2 more heroes left, then we're getting into the villains. And still not a single character in these lower 2 tiers, because for better or for worse, I think they do a great job balancing this game. So Cementoss. Let's talk about Cementoss. So a really good Cementoss will juggle you for days. It is oppressive. You won't get a moment to breathe. At least in my opinion. I don't know if you guys feel the exact same way. But like when I play against a really, really good Cementoss, it's oh my gosh. Like it is rough. And it doesn't matter like what stage of the game it is. I do feel like he has a super high like skill floor though. Like you gotta be pretty darn good to be good with Cementoss. But like once you get good with Cementoss, I feel like he is just so good. I feel like he's so strong. Yeah, he can cover himself. He can cover his teammates. He has the revive. He has great damage because him, like Momo, has gotten a lot of micro buffs over time to make him a really strong character. So with all that being said, yeah, he can bury the items you want. That's one downside. And another downside is his mobility. I know he can build the tower, but all you have to do is break the bottom block on the tower to bring the whole thing down. You know what I mean? Like it all crumbles. So yeah, like a good Cementoss can destroy you. Yeah, he just gets put in check by the characters who can like outmaneuver him. I think he might be top of A tier. I think he might be the top of A tier. How do we feel about that? Because back when I played Kirishima and only Kirishima, he was one of the only characters that gave me a really hard time. Because he can keep you at bay and lay down some pretty hard damage on you from far away. I think he's perfect right there. Because all these characters here can deal with him pretty easily. But I feel like everyone here And even, you know, if we're talking about a good Cementoss, even these guys aren't safe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think Cementoss is our top of A tier hero. Ooh, I hope Frank's still around, because we're talking about Ibera now. Our last support, our last hero, Ibera. Ooh, Ibera. Is she still bugged? Is her alpha still bugged? I concur. I do think she's the weakest of our supports. And she's slow. She doesn't have mobility for anything. She can't escape. So if she gets into a fight, she's committed. Unless she has teammates to back her up and cover her retreat. Yeah, you're true. She doesn't have any, like... She has the, like... What's it called? The... Via Dolorosa. She has the Via Dolorosa, but it doesn't like block damage. You know what I'm saying? If it blocked damage, that would be really, really good. The Crucifixion is a really strong ability. But is that enough to save her? Is that enough to save her from a low ranking on the list? I don't... That's true. That is true. She can literally only attack right in front of her. So she has your aim and your... And once you fire it off, it's not like Endeavor's Fire, which you can turn. Or, you know, it's below Shoto. I almost want to put her here. I almost want to put her in C tier. Because, like, the best things about her, right? The best things about her is the Crucifixion, which is really only good if they're low health or if you have teammates to back you up. And her special action, which is just like, you know, a weaker version of Cementoss's. Like a worse version of his. She can't outdamage anyone on the roster right now, even at full max. Ibera needs help. She needs a quirk skill set. And it's such a shame. She needs a quirk skill set to make her a little better. But because she's a side character, like, I don't know if you guys know, but the mangaka doesn't even like drawing her. He gets annoyed drawing her. Which is why we probably haven't seen much of her in this last arc in the manga. But anyways, yeah, I think Ibera, yeah, she is OP as heck in the manga. She is busted. If we're talking manga, anime, manga, she'd be a lot higher. But for the sake of Ultra Rumble, she's a C tier. I'm sorry, Ibera. I love you as a character. Yeah, like, her hair must be such a pain to draw. But yeah, sorry, Ibera. You gotta be in C tier until they give you some buffs or a new quirk skill set or something. They need to give her something. Anyways, we're getting into the villains now. Shiggy, the S-Man, who's about to get a new quirk skill set, but we're not taking that into account. We're talking about Strike. Shigaraki. Agreed. All the villains are pretty solid. They're pretty solid, chat. The only thing that I think it's more just going to be finding their exact places for the sake of it. Here, we'll do it like this. We'll do them in the order on the menu or whatever, right? So let's talk about Shigaraki. Some of the best damage in the game. Yeah, you know, that's actually a good point. Shigaraki might take the top of A, because in S tier, everyone else has better mobility, and they can just get away from his damage. Does that make him the best of A tier, though, or does that make him the bottom of S tier? Because, like, let's think about it. Let's think about it for a second. Right? Let's say there's... I know it's not going to happen, but let's say there's none of these, right? Who's going to beat Shigaraki out of everyone in these lower tiers? You know what I'm saying? But his limited mobility, because that's why I don't play Shigaraki, as you guys know. His limited mobility, no vertical movement at all. When I play him, I always grab the rapid cards. That way I can run up buildings. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, top of A tier. Once this new quirk skill set comes out, you know what? Actually, we'll do another tier list at the end of Season 4, and I'm sure it'll change when we have it. I'm sure his other quirk skill set, I'm predicting it to be S, but we'll get to that when we get there. Yeah, Shigaraki is way stronger in flat areas or in areas with lots of destructible buildings. But areas where it's like solid buildings, like a lot of UA Island, that's when it gets rough. You know what I mean? Those indestructible buildings he can't deal with. That's when he starts to suffer, because like all of these characters are just going to fly above him, outmaneuver him. So yeah, I'm happy with Shigaraki at the top of A tier, because he's definitely, I think, he's one of the best damage dealers in the game. I think he's only going to get better with the new quirk skill, but I think the strike, Shigaraki, right here, is perfectly fine. And now Dabi. Yeah, I wish he could destroy the city buildings. Like if he did, like maybe like the decay adds up, you know? Like if you hit it with your moves a certain amount of times, eventually it'll go down. That'd be really nice. Dabi S tier. Let's talk about it. You know, I concur. I concur that Dabi is a S tier villain. Because he also has a lack of mobility like Shigaraki, but it doesn't affect him and hold him back in the same way. I don't feel like it does. Because while you lack mobility, you have the traps. You have the wall. Yeah, he can chase flyers, which Shigaraki cannot. Yeah, I know. The way that the balls can like curve around buildings and stuff. Yeah. The Arson, his quirk skill Alpha. So I think we can all agree Dabi belongs in S tier. How high up on S tier does he move? That's the question then. You know what? I think I agree with that. I think he does go above all three of these. And it's not for a mobility reason. It's because all three of these characters have to get in close to do damage. But Dabi isn't going to let you do that, really. Between his traps and his gamma, he's going to keep you at bay while he's attacking you. As you're closing the distance, he's going to be hitting you with his alpha quirk. Once you get close, you're probably going to step into a beta or two. And then once you actually get to him, he has the Ring of Fire like Johnny Cash. Yeah, that 1v1 you had with the Froppy versus Dabi. Yeah. Yeah, so, and Dabi's final circle potential is super, super strong too. So yeah, I think Dabi definitely belongs there. But if Dabi goes there, I think you guys can at least guess where two other villains are going to end up. Let's talk about Toga. I know basically everyone here plays Toga. Let's talk about her. She's S tier. Yeah, Davi's the easiest. Who's that? Davi or... yeah. But Toga. I think Toga's an easy S tier for us. Everyone here plays her. She's devastating. She's the developer's favorite character because she never gets nerfed. She only gets buffed. She got an invisible buff. What was it? What was it she just got? What is it? Her beta lasts longer now? Is that what it was? I know she got like a micro buff. It was like so small, but it's made her so good again. And I mean, Toga's always been strong. Her beta has always been one of the best attacks in the game. Yeah, and that too. Toga can copy anyone on this list, so she could potentially, beat out a Kirishima, or a Kaminari, or a Bakugo, or an All Might, Cementoss, Shigaraki. She can technically just copy someone who counters them and take them out. Although, and this is something someone else said, and I agree with it, they've made Toga's base kit so strong. They made Toga's base kit so strong that most of the time you're better off playing Toga. And I think that says something for her. I think Toga's better than Mount Lady. Do we agree with that? I think Toga is stronger than Mount Lady, but I don't think she overtakes All Might. Because hear me out. I think All Might takes a Toga. Like, unless it's like one of y'all, obviously. But not. I don't know. I don't know if I can put her over All Might. She's really strong. But, nah, I think she's stronger than All Might. Because a Toga feels more oppressive. A Toga feels more oppressive than an All Might. Like, think about it. I might put Toga over Bakugo. I think Toga does more damage than Bakugo now. I think a Toga can kill you a lot faster than a Bakugo can for a lot less work. You know what? I'm doing that. I'm doing it. I think Toga is number 2. I've seen enough Denkis mess them up to know that... Yeah, I think Denki versus Toga, it's a toss-up. It just depends on how well they play it and who gets that first hit. Like, if he gets her with his combo, or if she hits him with the beta. I think that's the defining win, or the defining factors, and also who Toga has copied, if anyone. Because, honestly, she could just copy him and kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, she could just copy him and kill him with his own abilities. Oh my gosh, Toga... Is Toga the best character in the game, though? I don't... Ooh... Are we willing to say that? I think Toga's more versatile. I think Toga's more versatile of a character. She has range, she has mobility, and she can copy whoever she needs to get what she needs. You know what I mean? Whatever she's missing in that moment, she can just copy someone. Well, see, that's the thing. I personally think her base abilities are better than transforming into most people most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you have level 9s. If you have level 9s on Toga, it's almost better off not changing into anyone. Because you can just cycle the beta and gamma and eat them alive. Her alpha's rate of fire is super, super high. You know what? Yeah, Toga's taking the top spot. I think she's better than Kaminari. I really, really do. Like, I know Kaminari sometimes feels like he's the best character in the game because he just stuns and kills you. But, I mean, Toga can do that just as effectively with her beta. Yes, that's very true. And if a Toga dies and gets revived, but she copies someone with levels, it's like she never even died. It levels the playing field for that fight. Yeah, Toga's S tier. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, S tier. Now we have Mr. Compress. Goodness, this is taking a lot longer than I thought, guys. I'm going to have to do so much editing for this to go on YouTube. Did not mean to be doing this long, but hey, we do what we gotta do for the content. How do we feel about Compress, guys? Mr. Compress S tier. All right, yeah. So I want to let's take a minute. All right. So Compress is still broken for Switch. I know for sure, and I'm not sure about PC. I know when the update to fix Compress came out on Twitter, they said it was for Xbox and PlayStation specifically. In that if you have that glitch where you can't use your alpha on Switch or, wherever, if you have that glitch, reset your game and it fixes it. And I've had it fix that every time it's happened to me. Every time I've had Compress's alpha not work, I just reset my game and he's working just fine. So for the sake of this, and because he is fixed on other platforms, they just left Switch behind for some reason. We're going to talk about Compress as if he works, when he's working. His alpha is fantastic. When he's throwing the trucks at level 9 from his alpha, it's devastatingly strong. Yeah, he's really strong on his own. When he's fighting by himself, he's really strong in a group. He does great team play. He has I love his shield. You can bounce back other peeps' projectiles. The only thing, and this is just from my experience, is I think this is hard to put. Yeah, that's true. Compress on his own, like your two teammates quit out, you're on your own. You can still survive, do damage, get into the top 3 very easily with him because his gamma is some of our best mobility. It's one of the best escapes in the game, which is very fitting for his character. However, he can be hit out of that gamma by the likes of Ida, Sue, Dobby. Yeah, his escape is one of the best in the game, but he needs super armor. Yeah, I've personally been hit out of it so many times, and I think can Bakugo get out of his special escape though? Yeah, he can be stunned. Yeah, Momo can stun almost everyone out of their escapes, especially like Bakugo and Compress, because she's the queen of stun. Momo is the best stun character, like aside from Dinky. Dinky's the best stun, but then Momo, in my opinion. So he's A tier, and I think he's a high A tier. Is he better than Shigaraki? I don't know. I feel like we might be inflating Compress a little bit. I feel like we might be inflating Compress because of how good his gamma is. I agree. Compress shouldn't get don't think he's above anyone in A. I think I would agree. I think I would agree with that take. I think Compress might be the bottom of our A tier. Yeah, I knew Compress was going to be a hard one for us to place. Yeah, but how likely is that Compress to win? Like, survive? Yeah. Yeah, it's easier to survive indefinitely. It's kind of like Froppy. You know, it's easier to survive indefinitely. But how likely is he to win on his own? Like, I could see everyone else in A tier winning on their own. Yo, how do we feel about this? How do we feel about him right there? Because I think Momo, Kirishima, Cementos, and Shigaraki could deal with him very well. Especially because I know from experience, Kirishima can stun him out of his escape as well. Kendo versus Compress. No. I think man. Wait, pause. All right, so I think when it comes... All right, yeah, so this is... Let's see here. Yeah, Compress can... But here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? That Compress, if you think about the situation of a Compress versus a Momo, Compress is eventually going to have to hit the ground, and then Momo can keep him there. Oh, I actually just kind of paused for you guys so we could talk about this. But so what we're kind of talking about now is if Compress is going to overtake Momo. Because here's the deal, right? If the Compress can play high ground, he will win, I think. But what if there's no high ground? If there's no high ground, yeah, he can reflect her alpha. Oh, and the gamma. You know what? Yeah, we'll put him above Momo. He does not take over Kirishima because Kirishima can knock him out of his escape and doesn't really care about his shield at all. But I think that's a good place for Compress. Because, yeah, like, it can feel like Momo is better, but I think that's just because more people play her because she's easier to play. And so there's more people out there really good at her. But I do think overall in a vacuum, I think Compress is a little more versatile, a little more maneuverable. Now my main man Twice. This is interesting. Twice. I'm going to start him out at the bottom of S tier because we can't ignore the fact that he is really strong. Yeah, Twice is extremely easy to get value out of because of the aimbot on his clones. But here's the big thing. Twice has pretty big counters in the meta right now. Yeah, the more competitive people are, the weaker he is. Yeah, like, all of his clones can get one shot, and the players that know to focus the clones. And Twice works best as sneak attacks because of that. Because, you know, they might not know which one's the real one. Or if you take them by surprise, you know, it's hard to react to 2 Twices attacking you. It's just a lot of burst damage. His mobility is really good, but it's not better than, like, Ida or Froppy. But I think just how good his kit is, maybe... Oh... No, Frappies chase me. Frappies are a legit concern when I play Twice. I've been chased down by Frappies many times as Twice because they have no problem killing your clone really fast with their beta and then chasing after you with their alpha. Like, I'm a Twice main and I might put him down here. That's crazy, bro. But, like, not only that, but his Gamma has a huge window where you can just be smacked out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, his mobility is fantastic, but you can get hit out of it super easy. It's almost like Compress, only even easier. Because, like, it has the wind up, and then you move with it. Like, you Gamma, and then you move with it. And if someone's good at their shots, he's going to destroy you. If that Sue is good at her shots, going to destroy you. Let's see. Let's see. Twice better than Ida. Yeah, Twice is better than Ida, I think. Yeah, Compress could also pretend to fly away, but actually jump into the storm and just heal in there. I think Twice is perfect right there at a low S, though. Sweaty lobbies mid-A. I don't know. Even in my sweatiest lobbies, I still do okay. Oh, stay in the cloud team makes for cover. Yes, I like to do that myself, actually. Play as Compress, and then you use the Gamma away, and you just fall back down into it and hide in it. But yeah, I think I like Twice there. Because I put him over Ida, because he can overpower Ida. He can overwhelm an Ida. I've chased them off many times playing Twice. You know, like the Ida jumps in to kick you. You pop the clone, and that pushes him off you. And now he has to either fight the clone. Oh, no, yeah, when it comes to Twice, as the resident Twice main, I wanted to let you guys know, I'm not talking about, like, when I have a couple clones made up. I'm talking about just Twice and maybe the Twice clone. So Twice, you know, he can make the clone, pushes Ida off him, and then either the Ida has to go for you, the real Twice, in which case your clone is going to beam him in the back and take him out, or he goes after your clone, in which case you can escape. Yes, Toga also has a glitch right now where if she copies Twice and makes a clone of someone, even after she turns back, that clone of that person stays until they get knocked out or defeated. But yeah, I feel very happy with this tier list. Yeah, Toga gets every buff. She is the dev's favorite character, and I do think she is the best character in the game right now. Oh, the clone doesn't follow her? I actually didn't know that. So the clone Toga makes that stays behind after she turns back, apparently it doesn't follow her. That's crazy. Thanks for letting me know that, guys. So it just wanders around aimlessly. That's so weird. It's so weird. It's like it doesn't register that you're the one that made it. So it's like, what do I do? None of them want to follow you. They're like, we know you're not me. We know you're not our master. You didn't create us. But yeah. I think this is a solid tier list. Like, the only thing I would maybe even consider would be rearranging order here. But honestly, I wouldn't even really do that. I think this is pretty spot on. I think we made a very accurate assumption here with me and my homies, my community, my friends here on Twitch, all of you watching on YouTube after the fact. Try not to bite our heads off too bad in the comments. We promise we play this game all the time, so we got some good input for you guys here. But anyways, guys, super late, man. This stream, they might flame me about Yellow Deku, yeah, because I know he used to be one of the three. I can't wait for me to get flamed about Yellow Deku and Shoto being down here. But like B tier, these are characters that are good, but like I'm not terrified of them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're middle ground. If you're really good with them, you're gonna run the lobby. If you're not really good with them, it's whatever. I'm not too scared of you.